Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Zielonka. It is February, and man, oh man, does this map look absolutely beautiful in the wintertime. Oh my gosh. Silver Run Forest looked great in the winter. Zielonka looks great in the winter. What are we going to expect in whatever comes next out of Farm Sim? I cannot imagine. Waylon, Farmer G, good night, gentlemen. Good night. We are prepping our tater field because we're going to be planting taters next month. And I've got a special surprise. We bought that. We bought the preserve factory. We bought the preserves. And I made some carrot preserves. Next year we're going to split our crop between the soup factory and the preserve factory. I feel like the preserve factory goes through the crop a lot faster than the soup factory. Half Gaming, what's up? Caleb, how you doing? I saw some screenshots. Were there? I didn't take a close look at them. Not yet. I was prepping for this. That's what I was doing. Trying to get my free fertilizer with our potato planting by doing the ridging. We got a whole $9,000 in the bank, but that's okay. I've got a lot of soup saved up and preserves saved up. We're gonna sell it all today. How much money we get put in the coffers. Did y'all have a chance to check out the Italian rice map? It's a little bit of a disappointment, I thought that one was. In the end, I felt maybe it was a little bit too focused on rice as opposed to just general overall gameplay. If you are members of the Discord, don't forget to enter to win every day between now and December 25th. We're giving away a free random Steam game. So far, we have given away a total of 13 games in the month of December. We're going to be giving away 11 more as we march all our way. I guess 12 more. As we march all the way to December 25th. I know, Sean. I know. It's... When I was looking at that map before recording, I swore it was very, very similar to a map that we've looked at before. And in looking at over 800 maps in Farm Sim, well, sometimes when you get that little tick on your head, like, I think I've seen this before. Sometimes it's a false alarm. Other times it's not. So I went looking for other maps that had to deal with rice and Italy. And I stumbled upon a map in FS19 called Italian Rice XL. And I looked at the PDA of that map. I looked at the PDA of this map, and it had some pretty good similarities, but not exact. Not exact. So I can't say for a fact that it is a FS19 convert, but it really felt like an FS19 convert that didn't really take too much into account the new FS22 crops, productions, and other things. Pretty sure they added sorghum, but that was it, right? We had cotton in 19. That wasn't available on this map. Grapes and olives are 100% not available. None of the production. They put down a flour mill, but why can't you sell a flour you can make, right? It's like, come on, people. I messed around with trying to figure out why the flooding wasn't working, and it took me a long time to realize that, wait, it was working. It just wasn't working the way I was expecting it to work, and the way I was seeing it, or I've used to see it on other maps that have done flooding. All right, we're gonna put this away. Detached from that. Oh, was he? Well, is he trying to let a cat out of the bag? A little excited, was he? I guess we'll just have to find out if there's something to that. You gotta be careful what you expose on the internet these days. Why can't I unload here? Good side, rear. Actually cannot be performed here. Why not? I own this land, you booger. Chad, what is up? What is up? I wonder if I can't dump it because it's got snow on the ground. Wonder if that's the deal. Probably it's the deal. All right, we'll just dump it there. I actually had 8,000 liters worth of potatoes that for whatever reason I piled up at the end of the field when I had potatoes across the road the first year. So we're going to use those potatoes in our potato planter next month when we get around to doing that. Oh, did you get anything out there in the Oh, Chad. Now I see the. Now I see the rest of your message. Welcome, guys, back to Zielonka. We are here in February, and I just absolutely love how this map looks in the winter time. We've bought the Preserved Food Factory, bringing you up to speed, and we've already burned through all the carrots that we had left over. We've got our soup factory rocking and rolling. A lot of carrots going on, parsnips, red beets, and potatoes. We got some soup still in storage, so we've got a fair bit to sell off. And I'm trying to figure out where I want to take it. Supermarket. I don't want to go to Erlengrot. I know I'll get the absolute best money at Erlengrot, but I just don't want to deal with it. We're going to the supermarket. We got 24,000 liters of preserved carrots. I've got 10,000 liters of triple soup, 4,000 liters of parsnip soup, 12,000 liters of carrot soup, 4,000 liters of red beet soup, and 2,000 liters of potato soup. And now I'm going to go back and get the second load after this one. Chad, I've seen some really, really cool log splitting or wood splitting machines that are like, I mean, they are just out of this world. You like take a log and you load it onto the machine, and it like lifts the log up, and then it has a saw buck that just slices them off, right? And then it just keeps feeding it through the conveyor belt as it keeps sawing off, you know, let's say foot long, 18-inch long chunks, and then it goes through this, you know, massive ram splitting thing that splits the wood up into like 6 to 8 parts, dumps it on a conveyor belt, and then puts it in a giant pile. It's like, are you serious? Why couldn't we have had that when I was out there splitting wood with a splitting maul? Let's see how much money we make, people. Oh my gosh, we're already at $60,000. We just made 55 grand. Holy jeez. Holy jeez. I mean, you know, if you've got a lot of wood, access to logs, you can really make a firewood business out of that, because firewood ain't cheap. The only way heating your house with firewood's cheap is if you have ready access to your own trees. Oh, yeah, I don't know what we're going to have for Christmas dinner. I'm going to be out of town on Saturday doing grandparents' Christmas on Saturday. I do like the snow mask. I like the frosted streets. I like the frosted sidewalks, frosted snow or frosted grass and trees, obviously. What if Giants sold snow globes, and you could have a Zielonka snow globe? Is that it? Yep, that's it. Oh, I updated my graphics drivers. Any stuttering is thank you to that. Yeah, I thought we'd do a little in-cab driving. Get the in-cab experience, see the snow. Are you serious? I'm just out here having a nice winter drive. You go and run into me. Cut right across. I had to right away. Schultz, what is up, sir? What is up? Got the car. Are you serious, people? Oh my God. Does it drive like Schultz? Got the oil change today. Told my son about my idea that if I still had the car when he turned 16, which is 6 years from now, that would make the car 16 years old, by the way. That it would be his car to drive, because he would be driving a car that was manufactured on the day he was born. And how cool that would be to absolutely no one of his age group. Oh wow, $92,000. We made $81,000 off of soup and preserves. I don't know if the car is going to make it 6 more years. It's got 130,000 miles on it. Daily driver, I put about 500 on it every 2 weeks. It's about 1,000 miles a month or more. So I guess 6 more years, it would be around 200, just over 200,000 miles. If interest rates weren't so bad, man, I was tempted today. Because I was at the car dealership getting the oil changed. I had my eye on, well, had my eye on 2 things. One was outside my price bracket, but my wife really likes the Palisade. Well, she used to like the Palisade. She seems to think the Palisade is small now. But they had a 2023 Palisade on the lot. 5,000, 6,000 miles on it. Now, when I looked it up online, it said it had 12,000 miles. But maybe it was a different one. It's like a super dark red. She said it might be like a plum color. I guess maybe it could also be like a wine color. It's like ultra dark red. Looking it up online, at least what I thought was the Palisade, it was like mid 40s. And then they had a 2023 Santa Cruz Limited that had, again, like 5,000 miles on it. Said the guy owned it for 8 months, traded it in because he wanted to get a more premium model. Well, aren't we living in the lap of luxury? When we decide that we're going to trade our car in after 8 months because we want something more premium. They had that one for mid-30s. But They claim the original sticker was 39, but yeah, I mean interest rates are just too much. I didn't know if it was. Yeah, I didn't really look at it. See if it was a super good deal. Probably was like a modest deal. But it does seem like new vehicles are more prevalent on a lot these days. All right. We are ready to, are we ready to plant? So I've cultivated some fields already, but I didn't cultivate them all. My idea is to plant potatoes in March. My idea is to plant sorghum in April. And then we're going to do with parsnips in May, red beets in June, carrots in July. That should make my potatoes, sorghum, and parsnips all ready in August. Should put our red beets ready in September and our carrots ready in maybe October, November. And then we'll have a couple months to get all of that stuff harvested. That's my goal. Let's do it. Oh, really? This is the vehicle I want. And I'm going to buy this for now. David, I would suppose. I think based on the discussion that was going on in the Discord, it depends on how it's coded. If it's coded explicitly with named crops, right? Like if it's named potatoes and sugar beet. What am I doing? Drop it. I don't need to turn this on, I just need to go straight. If it's explicitly named potatoes and sugar beet, then no. But if it's named root crops, as in the root crop category, and then it would hold anything that's in a root crop category, then yes. Because it's carrots, parsnips, and red beets have been added to the root crop category. So anything that stores root crops as a category would store those new ones. But if it was explicitly named out potatoes and sugar beet, then likely not. Now, if it's Schultz's mod, then yeah. Because he had good advice when he made mods. To use categories as opposed to named fill types. Yeah, Walter, my initial goal, my initial thought process when rates started to spike last year, or real early this year, was to hold out to 2025. I figure come 2025, hopefully rates will be closer to where they were, and availability of vehicles will be where, you know, readily available. At some point, new vehicles are going to flood the market. And we're probably close to that point now. New vehicles are flooding back in the market. And there's an overabundance of used vehicles that just gotta go. So, kind of waiting for the perfect storm of lower rates and just a bevy of used cars on the lot that they have, for whatever reason, not been able to sell because they've been overpricing them. And eventually people will just stop buying overpriced cars because used, because they can't really charge a premium for new anymore. Because somebody will decide, you know what, let's undercut everyone else and still make a tidy profit, which will bring down new prices again, which will bottom drop used prices. And then it's just finding that diamond in the rough. What's up, Paul? How you doing? GoldenEye, what's up? Seen enough of you guys. It's gonna remind me to do this. This video is brought to you by Avery Wilkinson and Griffiths Larry. Thank you for being farm barons. So this weird ground texture showed up with premium. And it's really, really interesting. And it's kind of confusing to the player, but what I have pinned it down to is that any crop, any root crop, right? So this field will be this way. My potatoes are going to be this way. Every field that is a root crop is going to get this leaf texture on top of the ground after planting, even though we've ridged it and it looks beautiful here, because we use a shallow cultivator or a disc harrow, which leaves the stubble tillage soil type, right? So the fields that I did sorghum won't do that. But any field that I have a root crop in, because I have stubble tillage before my ridging, I seem to end up with that. Which is frustrating because I don't have the stubble tillage before it and it's green, right? It's like it shouldn't be green. Yeah, you know, take the car in to get the oil changed to just immediately start walking around a lot. Because what else am I going to do? And of course, you know, sales guy comes out. I tell him, I'm just waiting for my car at the shop, right? And I was just chatting it up with him. He was saying he's getting like 40 more cars in the next week. He was talking about the new, you know, the newer electrics they were getting in. I was like, what's the range on those? He's like 300 miles. I'm like, you can't use that on a trip. Then you might as well have two cars. One you tool around town in, the electric, and one you actually take on trips. And at that point, then why have two cars? Just buy one with a gas tank and actually get decent range out of it. I was like, how long does it take to charge those things up? He's like, an hour, hour and a half at a fast charger. It's like, good grief. Right? You're going on a trip. You're going on vacation. You got 600 miles. Well, let's see. We gotta split that up into 2 legs, and we gotta stop for at least an hour and a half, halfway through. I'm sure it's not cheaper in the long run, especially with the rising electric prices, depending on where you are in the country and how much electricity costs. It was like, yeah, you know, before we had the fast charger, we would plug our electrics into just a 110 outlet. It was like we plugged it in on Friday, came back on Monday, it was 7%. It's like it takes like a week or 2 weeks to charge up off a regular outlet, right? But it's saying, you know, there's incentives for the fast chargers at the house and everything, but it's like, yeah, but when I go to grandma's house, right? When I take the kids to their grandparents' house, we can't sit around and wait for a week for the car to charge back up. I was like, yeah, and I can go 600 miles on a tank. On the interstate, I can do 500 miles on a tank mixed usage. Right? Just tooling around town, going to and from work. I fill up about once every 10 days. And then it's like, you know, the environmental impact of making those batteries, the environmental impact of getting rid of those batteries. Just trust me, they're not that recyclable. But the time will come. The time will come. I definitely don't see myself driving the same car for another 6 years. But if I want my kid, who's 10, to drive a car that was literally manufactured or built the day he was born, I can't get rid of the car. Can't park it for 5 years and not use it. Right, so it'd have to be run probably at least once a week. You get one of those little smart cars, Sean. Yeah, I asked the sales guy what it costs to fill one of those up, charge it up full. You know, like are there standardized electric rates at these charging stations? You know, it's not like you have signs posted on the street. You know, we charge X per kilowatt hour for electric car charging. It's like, how do you know what your charge is going to be? Are they fixed? Is everyone charged the same amount of money? right? He said that particular manufacturer, when you buy a car, you get a code that gives you a year of free charging. Now I'm sure it's based on some amount of driving, right? Like when you buy a lifetime supply of Cheerios, let's say, right? It's literally not a lifetime supply. If all you ever ate was Cheerios, you would never run out. It's assuming so much is eaten per day on a weekly basis, you know, multiplied out by 52 weeks by, you know, what would be expected your average number of years would be, but it is a finite supply. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in California with that whole electric by what, 2035? What is it? 2030s? 2020 something. Because if you don't have the infrastructure in place to support your entire population, and what do you do about people visiting? You're still going to have gas pumps. You can't expect everyone visiting California to be electric. Oh, did they wake up one day and realize they didn't live in a fantasy world? I think electric in California is expensive no matter what. That's why there's a big solar push. I know, and then, you know, and then they go and tell people, we're due to the high temps, right? We'd like you to refrain from charging your vehicles so that we can be sure to provide adequate cooling to those in need. But we also want you to be all electric state by a certain time frame. And, you know, we still need the economy to run, so you still need to go to work. But we're requiring you to have an electric vehicle, but you can't charge it. So, yeah, I guess you're going to have to walk to work. I mean, I could do an EV for my normal daily driving. I drive about 50 miles a day between, you know, to and from work. It's about a 50-mile round trip. So I could do that. But my parents live like 3 hours away. That's like 140, 150 miles. Well, if it's 300-mile radius or range, yeah, we can't go up and back without severely risking running out of electric, right? Well, they don't have charging up there. And if it really literally takes days to get a couple percent on your battery off of just a regular standard wall outlet, well, you can't just go visit a friend that's multiple hours away and say, hey, can I bum your 220 socket off your dryer so I can charge my car to go home? Or, oh, did I forget? I have to stay a week so I have enough power to drive home? Or you have to factor in, well, on the return trip, I'm going to have at least an hour and a half of just sitting around waiting for my car to charge. Or maybe a half hour sitting around waiting for my car to get a partial charge just to get home. Let alone if you're going to go on a long road trip, right? Like, we're going to go to the National Farm Machine Show in Louisville, Kentucky in February. We'd love for anyone that can make it down there to meet up. It's a really cool show. We can hang out, have dinner, whatever. Then I also got plans to go to PAX East again this year in March. I got my press pass, so I'm ready to go for that. That's a 600-mile drive right there. So add 3 more hours of driving time to charge the vehicle twice, one way. Yeah, that's rough. Earlier this year when we went to PAX, me and the kid, I filled the car up at home. And, yeah. I filled the car up leaving Boston. And I got home. 2 tanks of fuel. 1,200 miles. I literally got 40 miles to the gallon that trip. Now, hybrids would be for the you know, all around trips. The electric hybrids, where you've got a regular gas engine and that charges your electric batteries or runs a generator that powers your electric motors. Or however various hybrids work. So I think you can have full electric for around the town driving. I think you can have a hybrid for your long trips. No such person. What is up? What is up? Yeah, I got a guy at work. Whenever he travels for work, he prefers that we buy him a rental. I don't know. I like the mileage. I like getting mileage for my car because I make a nice little pocket of change off of that. Rabbit Rob, what is up, sir? What is up? How's it going? Fine, gentlemen. I mean, we're playing this field pretty darn quick, I think. Yeah, we're getting this field done super fast. super fast. I want to look at sales. I don't want any of those. But what I do want to buy, King Chong, the witch is dead, evil witch. All right, here we go. We're going to lease one of those. I mean, with fuel prices the way they are, though, they're starting to come down here. I got a great deal the other day. I filled up for $2.89 or $2.88. $2.88 a gallon. That was with a special deal from Gas Buddy. But I have seen prices drop near $3 again. Hopefully they'll continue to drop. I don't know what's going on in the world of oil, but it's always good when you see gas prices drop. But I saved like $4 and some on that fill up. My car's got a massive 18-gallon tank. I say massive because I think the last two cars I've had before that have been like 12 and 14-gallon tanks. I've done 50 cents off. I've gotten $1 off with Kroger rewards. For those that don't know, Kroger's a grocery store, and you get 10 cents off per gallon for every $100 you spend at the store, and you can save up your points. Right, points expire like the month after you've earned them or something. Pretty typical rewards program. Sean, yeah. What if you put a Hemi in it? Can you put a Hemi in the Prius? What if you put a rotary in the Prius? What if you put one of those Mazda rotaries in there? Here, Toyota Prius. We're at 12,000 RPM. Oh, winter blend is cheaper to make than summer blend? Well, you like driving the MX-5 in Forza. Oh, no such person. Now everybody puts an LS in everything these days. And let's see, we should be, yep, we are fertilized because of our fabulous ridging. Oh, you gotta put one of those giant bazooka mufflers on the back of it. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly, Caleb. Are you gonna take the hood off? Just leave the hood off. I mean, it'd be cool if I could plant this whole field with the potatoes I've had for nearly 2 years. Or definitely a year and a half. I think we'll have a little left over. All right. Okay, Walter. So did everyone go check out the mod drops today? Our very own Schultz Modding had a hog confinement pen drop today. If you want to do some massive hog farming, you've got a kind of a modern day confinement building now. I think it's like 1,000 pigs or something. I mean, you can make some serious bacon makers with those things. It's a small building. Well, it's big compared to the pig buildings that are out there now available for us. So it's big with relativity. Now we could go make some more money Because now we have some more soup. No, we haven't moved. Yeah, we've moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus whatever pallets are down there. Should be about another 30 grand. Get ourselves up 110,000. Well, hopefully we will, hopefully whatever comes next will drop support for the PS4, Xbox One, and that will just bring everything else up as a result as far as capabilities. And at that point then, the lowest common denominator would be the Xbox Series S, because it is a little bit under spec compared to the X. I'm glad you got it released before Giants' winter break, though. I feel like it's been like 2 weeks or more since I looked at it. Bulldogs 2022. Thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying the videos. Glad you're finding them helpful and useful. We like to play in a chilled out fashion. We just kind of hang out, chat about who knows what during live streams. What are they up to now on number of mods pending testing? Let's look. Oh, pretty yawn. 177 pending testing, 18 days. Are you serious? Holy jeez. We got one map in there for PC. Valley Spring is back for re-release. Looks like Christmas Pack. Buckland Farm is another map sitting there in testing. But 177, oh my. They're definitely not all going to get done before the winter break. Bucket, it's not just this map, it's I think it's these crops, root crops in general. Post ridging, if you use a shallow cultivator or a disc harrow or a power harrow, anything that gives you the stubble tillage ground texture seems to do this. So this field had potatoes in it. Then I used a disc harrow. I used this disc harrow to cultivate the field, which gave me a resulting stubble tillage brown texture. I've already done these three. And then I ridged this field. Alright, so I got nice, dark, rich soil. And then I plant on that soil, and I get my leaves back. I feel like if I used a regular cultivator or plowed the ground, I wouldn't have that. Alright. Oh, shoot. So we did have enough potatoes to plant this entire field. So you're saying it's possible that straw harvest will drop on Christmas Day? That's the only thing I can think is going to happen now. Either that or New Year's. I mean, it's December 13th. We're basically halfway through the year with respect to straw harvest being dropped. Pretty sure it was supposedly supposed to be coming in 2023 later this year when they dropped the teaser right before FarmCon. I know it made a lot of people hope, myself included, that it was going to be a FarmCon announcement. Turns out the emergency pack was that FarmCon announcement. So, given the fact that it's the 13th, I can only think that it's going to be a Christmas Eve drop, a Christmas Day drop, New Year's Eve drop, or a New Year's Day drop. Gotta run out and get my subsoiler here in a little bit. See if it's going to work for what I want it to do. I remember one year they had there was like a placeable outdoor Christmas tree. Right, it was like a large evergreen tree that had lights and ornaments and stuff on it. And that released like January. The first week Giants was back in January. I mean, that must have been so frustrating for whoever worked on that. was it 19? Things get blurred at this point. I don't remember what's been 19, what's been 17. I mean, the general rule of thumb has got to be if you have a mod that's very time specific, it's best to be working on that well ahead of time. Right? You don't want your placeable jack-o'-lanterns dropping the week after Halloween. As far as blog entries from Giants, I mean, they are wrapping up the year, right? They are coming off of the premium release, second major expansion of the game. You know, it's kind of expected to go light, but maybe we still have I don't know when Giants is going on holiday. My last working day is the 22nd. I would expect that their last working day is somewhere close to that. So we're down to basically a week or so before they go on holiday, before the end of the year. If they were to drop an announcement on us about the year 3 season pass, maybe. Well, last year they announced the year 2 season pass in December. I went back and I looked at my announcement files to see when they were dated. And they were dated around this time December of last year. So, one could speculate if they don't have a year 3 season pass announcement in December, maybe there isn't going to be one. I don't have info. I can't definitively say when the year 1 season pass was announced. I mean, the game was brand new in November anyway, but they have announced the year 1 season pass. I don't know. But at any rate, right? So just looking at recent history, it would imply that we would be expecting year 3 season pass info in December. If they do announce a year 3 season pass, then it's how big is that pass? Does that pass include 4 things like year 1? Does it include 5 things like year 2? Does it include 3 things? Does it include 2 things? Right? How big or how full is that pass? So, yeah, if you get no news about a season pass, does that mean there isn't going to be one? or maybe they're just spreading their announcements out, and they're going to post one in when they get back. I don't know. Right? It's hard to tell what Giants has going on in their scheming minds. Now, I did look, and Farm Sim 22 was announced in, I believe, April of 21. Okay? And then, of course, the big hype leading into that year's FarmCon was information about Farm Sim 22. And FarmCon is typically held in July. So, right, announced in April, May, June, 3 months into July. July, they had like a preview, gameplay, a lot of information about modding, a lot of information about what's coming to the game. July, August, September, October, November. 4 months after that, the game is out. That was the most recent. I don't have information way back in 19 of when the information dropped on that. But again, in 2018, the big FarmCon topic was Farm Sim 19. Artemis, what's up, sir? What is up? So December 2nd year 2 season pass was announced last year. Right, so we're already past December 2nd. We're already past, you know, the first half of December. That's not saying it's not being announced, but they're on a different time schedule. Oh, 150 hours between now and New Year's? Well, I don't know. I know I couldn't get it done. Speaking of that, we're going to be doing a New Year's live stream here on this channel. We're going to start at our normal time at 8 p.m. on December 31st and stream all the way into the new year. I am on the East Coast, right? So that's going to be a 4-hour live stream. We're going to be doing probably American Truck Sim and Farm Sim in multiplayer, hopefully. Looking for some interested parties to join me both in multiplayer on American Truck Sim and multiplayer in Farm Sim to ring in the new year. Nope, Caleb have no intentions of that. Although, we've already done that, technically. We've already done that over at DJ Goham's Farm Sim News stream when he was at PAX East this last year. I mean, you probably do have plans, Schultz. The only saving grace is your New Year's is a few hours after mine. Well, Artemis, I feel if you did have ATS, you might not reach your goal of 3,000 hours. Well, David, I mean, you could store the excess down at the soup factory. It processes so slow. And I think the soup factory is pretty cheap compared to the preserve factory. Soup, that's 135,000. Oh, maybe it's not. Oh yeah, both of them going. Okay. Well, then it sounds like to me that you've just got way too many carrots. You can definitely store crops down at the train station. Indeed, that is a great suggestion. I tend to forget about the train station silo basically holding everything. Indeed, David, you're going to be a year ahead. Right? You can tell us all our wild predictions about the new year. You can answer if they're true or not. All right, let's go see if my idea is going to work. You definitely want to set it to not auto-renew then, Kayla. So I was talking during the pre-show that I felt was a little disappointed in the Italian rice map. Dropped yesterday. Did that map video, got it up before I hit the stack. Kind of feels like an FS19 convert that wasn't fully converted over. Wasn't fully fleshed out with respect to FS22 gameplays. What is this? Oh, isn't that nice? Look at that. That's cute. It's not going to work. Giant dingleberry. All right, we're not doing that then. Wishful thinking is what I had. Wishful thinking. Oh, you don't like the billboards? I don't mind the ads. At least the way they're done now. Was not a fan of the ads when they showed up on Erlingrad in 19. But the way that they do these ads in 22, I think is fine. This is what happens when you drive and your camera is reversed. You run into a ditch. Yeah, I feel they're tasteful. They're not like, you know. In 19, like we had the Reval, the Revel, the modeling company that sells you like put together models. Right? I had one of those. There was GPortal. Had one. First time I heard about GPortal. Turns out they're actually a pretty good server hosting company. We are a partner of GPortal now. Explanation GPortal. Get a couple % off on your server rental. They had a pretty good Black Friday deal. Sadly, that's over. 25 gigs of mod space, and you can have your server provision probably within 30 seconds of basically going in and renting one. Amazingly fast service on getting it updated, and you can even go back. If Giants updates the game and you have a problem with the update, well, you can go back and down rev your server to a previous version, just a matter of a couple seconds. It's pretty straightforward to do. Anywho, I was really worried, you know, that it would become just ads, constant ads about, you know, sell this, sell that. But instead, they're kind of their own little advertisements about DLCs and things like FarmCon and stuff. And then every so often we get things like that. Now, I did kind of tease DJ modding a bit back in 19. He had a map. I think it was a Canada map. And he had so many billboards on that map. It was like a billboard every 40 feet going down the interstate. I was like, are there really that many billboards in Canada? Because that's an awful lot. Alright, where are we selling these? I don't know why I can never get to the right menu. So we're going to the farmer's market this time around. They're very fast servers, very fast drives. You can barely tell when they autosave. 28 grand. Another big day. I'm just gonna leave this down here because we'll have another load tomorrow. In fact, we're about ready to fast forward to tomorrow. No, I shouldn't pull it in all the way. Caleb, I think it'd be interesting. I don't know how the general player base would take to it. I mean, I think the vast majority of the players are not interested in ultra-realistic farming practices. I mean, just look at the YouTubes. Look at the tubes of you, or maybe even the Twitches, the Twitch streams. Who are the most popular creators, and what is their method of gameplay? I would venture a guess. The most popular creators are not the ones who play with the utmost of realism. And just take a stroll through a quick Google search on YouTube, or a quick YouTube search for farming simulator content. I think you're going to find a vast majority of the most viewed videos are not of the most realistic gameplays. So yeah, I mean, that's why Giants has a lot of things you can turn on and off. I also am unsure on how well various manufacturers would take to that. You know, Midas, what would they think? Vertestein, Trelleborg, Case, John Deere, Case, not Case, but Kloss, right? These vehicle and tire manufacturers, for example, if they would be super on board with having damage and, you know, wear and things like that. I mean, after all, it's a marketing tool. Farm Sim's a marketing tool for them, and it's not that great of a marketing tool if your implement or machinery is breaking down in game. The idea of greasing things up and fillables, like having to fill do I even have a seeder? Having to fill balers with twine or net wrap, having to fill other things. I don't have a seeder. We must have borrowed it last time. All right. We have up to 180 horsepower. $220, not going to do it. 300, not going to do it. 240, 180. Oh, we can do that. It's a lot of money. 200. Dang. That would be on the fringe. 150, 200, 140. No, it's 150. It's 100. Wait, 65. That's 69. Jeez, it's just down there. Let's head back down. Caleb, it's a new YouTube thing. They're pushing ads. I've got it set to the most conservative setting. I mean, you shouldn't get that many breaks, at most maybe 1 an hour. Yeah, Sean, it just dropped today, pig confinement. So we had that grease mod. It was an add-on, right? But it required you to basically, it required a mod to be edited in order to work with it. And in that case, you know, I think those are less popular. Because they require, you know, the implement that you want to use it on to be edited. In those cases, it's really nice when the mod itself has all the XML in place to basically add itself to the in-game things. So then the player has a nice fleet of in-game things that they can use that mod with. But when it only works with like whatever you manually add it to, or you hope other people add it to their own mods that they submit, I think you get less traction on it. Exactly, Schultz, exactly. I mean, doesn't the Twine add-on work with all the base game stuff? But I know you like to play with your mods, right? Let me check something. April. I can plant oats. Nope, we're gonna plant sorghum. What? Camel Canuck? What am I missing? Oh, you're talking about the map. Really do like the horse aggravation stuff. Excellent turning radiuses on all this equipment. See, Schultz and I are near direct opposites. I'll go for mods if there's just nothing that satisfies what I need. Like, I wanted to expand this field, but I didn't want to use a mold board plow, mold board, whatever you want to call it, because I didn't want to deal with the whole angle stuff. And that's why I had gotten the subsoiler. Is I was hoping that since it said that it worked like a plow, that it would also have create fields, but it didn't. It did not. Now there is a mod that allows that. There's a mod that enables cultivators to create fields. But I'm not going to stop the stream and go download that. Well, Schultz, you know, I understand that, but there was a good amount of machinery at the National Farm Machine Show that had those placards on them, right? I mean, there's stuff that's coming that's being imported, and they're showing up with these placards on them. Of course, you know, once you're a farmer, once you buy the machinery, well, it's yours to do whatever you want with it. Yeah. You want to take cut torch and cut those placards off, that's up to you, right? But if you go back and watch that coverage again, I think you'll see a good amount of equipment having these European warning signs. I'll tell you one thing I am glad that we're not seeing from Giants is I saw was a construction simulator. They came out with a DLC that's basically like hard hats, custom hard hats, and I guess warning vests and other garments. It's almost like a paint pack from ATS or ETS, right? I would like to see more clothing show up. But yeah, I don't think we need to have a dedicated, paid-for clothing DLC, that would be a little, that would feel a lot like a money grab, right? Be like, oh, I know why now. I know why now none of the DLCs recently had any clothing in them. It's because you were holding it all back to get your own. DLC bundle out of it. I would like to see a DLC on building packs. I think building out farms are a rather popular thing. So I think it'd be fun to see more of that. We had more of the building packs, buildings like what's included here on Zielonka. Yeah, we can have a European building pack. Well, we kind of already have that with Farm Sim Space buildings, but we can have a UK building pack, a North American building pack, maybe a South American building pack, an Asian inspired building pack. So we're going to put sorghum on this field, and this field, the same fields we had it on before. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, and I've mentioned it before. A building pack where you can place a foundation and deliver logs, deliver planks, deliver roof shingles, deliver metal rolls, and as a result, then your buildings, your farm buildings, basically get built over a couple months, and then you would have full use of those buildings. Tell you what, I'm saving up money. Did I turn that off? No, good. I'm saving up money because I want to buy. I want to buy the 2-row harvester. It offloads on a conveyor belt. I want to try to recruit some folks so next harvest season I can do this in multiplayer and have another person either running the trailer or running the harvester, and I can run the trailer, and we can change it around. So I need about another 100,000 between now and fall. Exactly, GoldenEye, exactly. Just further expand on the whole, build out the roller coaster concept, building out the boats, building out the pianos on this map. Taking that, deliver goods, and over time something gets built. Just take it to that next level and have it be, what's being built, be placeable. And then you can have a buildable farmhouse. You have multiple buildable farmhouses of different prices. And you can do a true start from scratch experience where you started with literally nothing you rolled up, you cleared some trees out of the way, and you started with your homestead by putting down, you know, your farmhouse foundation. You took your logs and you delivered them to your farmhouse foundation, and maybe you made a log house. After 6 months, your log house is built. And then you build up a log house for your chickens. And then you have a shed or a building for your machinery that's made out of logs. And then as you progress, right, maybe you could upgrade your building. Instead of being made out of logs, it has wood siding, right? It has metal beams, has a tin roof. So you have your metal rolls. And then maybe advance to a metal sided building, so then you can have different color. When you place it down, you can say I want it to be a red sided building. I mean, I think that would be great, but sadly, all that's locked away in DRM protected files. We talked about last live stream and we want placeable animal pins, placeable customizable animal pins. We started down that road with the manure heap for your pigs and cows, right? You don't get any manure until you put a manure heap down, then suddenly, boom, you have now spawn point for that. Nice to see that extended to not only manure and slurry storage, but to have a placeable food trough, a placeable milk trigger, a placeable water trigger, straw, and then draw out, like we draw out fences, but to be able to draw out your animal nav mesh, like where do you want your animals to be? I know, Walter, I know, right? These dry creeks, these dry stream beds are frustrating, or mostly dry stream beds are frustrating. Feels like so much opportunity lost. We could put some more food in. We could sell those pigs for a little bit of money. Yeah, I mean, there's like water in there, but it's barely there. It more or less just looks like it's just sitting. we go. Yeah, placeable fences in 19 was painful. Right, trying to get them to line up. You never get the right camera angle to get them to line up right. And then they were all in your own vehicles, your own things, right? So trying to scroll through that list was just so painful. The new way of doing it is really nice. But let's extend that drawable feature from fences and olives and grapes. Let's draw out a nav mesh. Right, we have those wonderful, wonderful fenceless husbandries. The open cow pasture, the open sheep pastures. Schultz's modular cow and pig mods. But they still have a defined nav mesh, right? So when you place them down, the animals are only going to be animated in a certain area. And you either draw the fence around that area, or you draw the fence around a bigger area, knowing that those animals are not going to walk that big area. And what I've done in maps like the Holler, I was trying to think of the name of the map. What I've done with the Holler was I made a big cattle yard, and I put 3 of those mods side by side, and then I put another placeable husbandry 3 in a row on the other side, and I fenced that whole area off. And I have a much larger area. I have 6 animal pens, if you will, within one fenced in area. But it looks like, you know, the cows are walking all over the place. On close inspection, you see they only go a certain area. They're kind of segregated, but to the casual eye, right, they fill the whole area. But to be able to take that and expand it and say, I want my nav mesh basically to fill out this fenced area. Everything within this fenced boundary is able to be nav mesh for cows. Well, then back in 17, Farm Sim 17 and before, there were a lot of PC players that were messing around in GE. A lot more players were messing around in Giants Editor because all the maps were permanently embedded all the farms were permanently embedded in the map. There was no customization. You took the farm for what it was, or you took the map into Giants Editor and made your tweaks within the editor. So there were a lot of people that were, well, you know, they would take the stance of not just, right, I like to customize my farm like in 22 by deleting out buildings and things, but full on putting the map in the Giants Editor, getting rid of buildings, putting new buildings down to really make out your own farm. But kind of the hard way about it, or what now looks like the hard way. Yeah, we'll, I wanted to expand this field too, but I don't want to use that plow. So if everyone's midday is going well, we're on the downward slope. Just 2 more days till the weekend. And, well, 2 more weekends before the big day. Hope everyone is ready with your holiday shopping list complete or near complete. If there's things you need to order, best get them on order soon, or they might not make it in time. I was looking at the weather. It's going to be a rainy Christmas day here. Looks like. Delilah, good evening. Thanks for coming by. Hope things are going well at the shop. So we're gonna finish seeding this field. I'm gonna seed the far field over there. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wrap it up after that. We've got some more fields we need to cultivate. We need to fertilize these fields that we have planted. And continue the march through spring. Like I said, looking at the crop schedule, we're going to plant parsnips in May. I'm going to plant red beet in June, and I'm going to plant carrots in July. That's going to give us potatoes, sorghum, and parsnips harvest in August. Red beets for harvest in September, and October, November time frame, our carrots would come due. Kind of space it out because we know it's going to take a little bit of time to harvest each particular crop. Got $62,000 in the bank now. May, June, July, August. So we've got 4 months. 4 months to get enough money in order to buy the 2-row harvester. Since we bought this seeder, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that or not. But at a minimum, we'll be able to lease it. I plan on running Zielonka out through the remainder of the year, hoping some other map drops between now and then that sparks my interest to move over to that. And I think it's really the race to 300. The Italian Rice 22 map, that was map 299 on the FS22 map playlist. What will be 300? I took a look earlier at the mod testing thread. There appears to be 2 mods in testing, or should I say 2 maps in testing right now. One for console, one for PC. Or should I say all platforms and PC. I hope it's a map of distinction, because it will be getting a little bit of distinction in the channel. Two fields done. One little one to go, but I was going to extend this one down to the road with the plow. Oh well. Oh well. It's okay, we don't need this much field anyway for the amount of crop that we go through with our animals. I saw that Epic launched their winter sale today. Instead of getting a free game from Epic on Thursday, we had one drop today. It looks like in a week. So next Wednesday we'll get another free game drop. It looks like quite possibly that starting on next Wednesday we'll be getting a free game drop per day from Epic as they lead into Christmas. They typically do that as we go into Christmas with a free game every day for some period of days. It's definitely an easy way to pad out one's library by going in and collecting your free weekly title or two. Another way to pad your games list is to join the Discord, because we are partway through a 25 game giveaway for the month of December. So from December 1st to 25th, I'll be giving out a new random game title every day. All you do is join the Discord and enter to win in the announcements channel. Winners will have the Steam key delivered to them via direct message soon after the drawing. Indeed, the Destiny 2 bundle is the drop today on Epic. Not a bad bundle if that is something that you're into. I wonder if we'll have another GTA 5 giveaway over on Epic with the whole GTA 6 announcement now. I don't know which year it was, but one of the GTA 5 iterations was a daily giveaway on Epic. Maybe 2 years ago. It's like, who doesn't already own that at least once? There we go, guys. All right, that's going to do it. Like I said, I've got some work to do to continue to prep these fields. Tomorrow will be Thursday. I don't know what we're going to be doing Thursday. Quite frankly, we might have a map drop on the mod hub. That would be map 300. So if that happens, we're definitely going to be recording the map video. Otherwise, we might be back here Thursday. Friday we'll be doing Forza Friday over on the Funhouse channel. And Saturday I'm going to be out of town. So I don't think we're going to be live streaming at all on Saturday. Epic versus Google. Well, I think that Epic should be allowed to do microtransactions outside of the Google Play Store, the same as Apple. Right now, Apple requires all app purchases to go through their App Store. And that way, Apple can take 30% of every transaction. And I think that should not necessarily be the case. Until next time, happy farming.